This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Everyone needs to unload to someone who's unbiased and who isn't judging. Visit BetterHelp.com/allies and unload the stress. Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'll be your moderator, Brandon Jones. Joining me this week, panelist Brad Ellis.
Hi.
Michael Huber not feeling well.
Correct.
So we don't want no Michael Huber around here that's not feeling well. No alarm bells going off, just Michael Huber not feeling well.
He puked.
Yeah, he puked.
Oh, TMI. I'm going to beep that out. That's offensive. To start a podcast, my co-moderator that, gosh darn it, I've missed so gosh darn much, Dana Bloodworth. Hey, I did a remote podcast. I did one or two podcasts without you. I think we recorded one before the holidays. It's all a blur. 2022 slowly making its way forward. We'll get to some news. Making it all happen in the control room. Isla Hank.
Hi.
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 Distinguished guests. We are here to discuss some of the biggest headlines in video games this week, but before we do that, we must answer for the mistakes we made in the last episode. Isla Hank, begin corrections music, please.
Boop.
The Uncharted 4 collection that just came out, that's coming to PC later. The January date is only the PS5 version. When's the ports and stuff like that, that's always the bane of doing Q1, Q2 previews or whatever.
Oh, any kind of release calendar.
I thought I had a handle on it last week, but no.
It's one of the reasons we don't put like platforms and stuff on Huber syndrome, because then it just becomes a mess. It's like, oh, it comes out on Wednesday on this, and then like the next Thursday on that, and it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Specifically credited someone on YouTube, which I don't normally do, and botched their name. Shout out to Sicky, S-Y-K-K-Y, not S-K-K-Y. Missed a Y there. Why? I don't know. Fire Sprite was acquired by Sony in September. We didn't know who Fire Sprite was. Fire Sprite's going to be working on the Horizon VR game.
Got it.
With, of course, Gorilla.
Gorilla, yeah.
Under Siege 2 is Dark Territory, not Enemy Territory. Stupid. It was a cheeseburger and a Sprite in Pulp Fiction. I don't recall him specifically saying what it was, but then like now I can kind of hear Samuel Jackson saying that. But took a long sip out of. Good scene. When talking to David Jaffe, the director of Days Gone, and a lot of people reported on this, admitted that his calculation of copies sold of Days Gone was based on the number of people who played it, which could include free copies via PS Plus and all sorts of weird loopholes makes his argument have a little less teeth. Some people call us out on it because literally like that can't, like on the way home, like Polygon called me on the phone. Hi, it's Polygon. You were wrong. I'm like, well, we already recorded the podcast. So,
I mean, we were just saying what he said. So
yeah, but I
think the conversation still holds up. It's like, what value does the Tsushima franchise have over Days Gone? Is it that much of a difference? Like, is Days Gone that unsalvageable that the Tsushima's just gold paved road for the future potentially?
Because of that Metacritic, I guarantee it.
I think there's probably a lot of other factors.
Well, it
going
took
on
like 7 years for them to make that game too, so that didn't help.
Yeah. You weren't on that podcast, Blade. Nobody cares about your take. You're done. You had your shot. The guy in the beginning of Cube was cut up by wires.
That's why I said wires.
I think he said lasers.
Oh, well.
Because you know what you were thinking of.
Lasers or wires or whatever, but yeah, you would get flash with wires.
Right. Resident Evil, of course.
Right.
Excellent laser sequence that I think was called back to at least once, maybe twice.
Wasn't there something like that in like Johnny Mnemonic?
Whatever.
Get it right.
Well, I'll look for that corrections next week. From Insignificant. Foveated rendering is not for eye tracking, Isla.
That's what it said on the internet.
Well, no, it is, but for this specific reason. Do you know what foveated rendering is? It's one of my favorite types of rendering, actually. I didn't know at the time. You read a sentence, and then someone else explains it to you. It's when games aren't rendering the thing you're not looking at. Or at least that's my understanding of it.
Yeah.
And I love that. The GTA trilogy just came back, and that was always my favorite when you need a car. If you're playing any of the GTA remasters, and you run out into the street, and you're like, I want a car. Turn around, then turn around again. You're like, there's a car. Like, because it'll spawn. They want to do that drive-by. They want to do, meaning, not your classic San Andreas drive-by, but they want that effect of a car, like they want to fill the town, but they don't want to load something right in front of you. So I'm going to wait till you're like stable looking in opposite direction, and then I will load a car that is driving in your direction.
It's like LOD or culling or whatever. But like, in my defense, literally the description is foveated rendering is a rendering technique which uses an eye tracker integrated in virtual reality headset to reduce the rendering workload by greatly reducing the image quality of the peripheral vision. It's not my fault I can't ever get the whole thing out.
I'm having way too much fun throwing you under the bus. It was probably my fault because I should have called out that the thing that connects these two things is the PlayStation VR 2, according to Sony, is going to use eye tracking to do that when it renders.
Right.
So it's going to know where you're looking, so it's not going to spend so much time potentially on something that you're not looking at. Right. You're facing it, but not looking at it.
Which is like kind of... I've had an idea for an artwork for a very long time where it's a frame with a sensor in it that can tell when it's being looked at, and the image would be constantly moving whenever no one is looking at it, and as soon as someone looks at it, it stops, just to like stress people out, because you'd always be like, did that just move? What?
Like
what?
a Boo in Mario?
Yeah, and so like this is like that. It's like existentially kind of terrifying to be like, if you're looking over here, this gets worse.
Well, I bet horror games can have some fun times with VR eye tracking, you nuts. Yeah, Layers of Fear 4 exclusive to PSVR 2 is going to be pretty sweet.
I have to wonder, with that, like how well you'll notice it, because like a lot of those tricks, you do see like, oh, it's scaling over there, or it's moving, or it's getting blurry, or whatever.
Incorrect music, please.
Boop.
It's the kind of thing someone's going to remind us about in 4 years. They're going to be like, they did do that to PSVR 2. Do we ever get that? And it's like developers would be like, yes. Nobody really. We didn't talk about it in marketing because it was just whatever. Yeah. The thing we're doing to your eyes. This isn't a correction, but King of Sharks pointed out something that I felt was legit. I was inquiring on Ore Wars last week.
The King of Sharks?
The King of Sharks.
Oh, my God.
All the other sharks step aside. That Kyle Bossman might potentially be in Fortnite. Might be something you want to pick for an Ore Wars. And King of Sharks said, I wouldn't be able to stand playing as Kyle in Fortnite. All my inputs would be delayed.
Aha.
Oh, boy.
Why do you give him attention? Why do you even do this?
It's only attention when he listens.
Nah.
Let's play a new game. I got a game for you, Bloodworth. That's right.
Oh.
When there's new games, there's new bits, there's new opening things for the Easy Allies podcast, especially for a brand new year. If it's a good one, it's not my idea. Daniel Bloodworth gave a starring role last year, but starring role might come back at the end of this year. We had so much fun. I saw somebody suggest, I think it was the Cody Spencer who gave me this game, suggested, what about the opposite? What about movies, but video game characters? So the movie backed out. No, video games, but movie characters. There, I got it right. So video game backed out. Mario backed out of Mario 64. What Danny DeVito from what movie? Because Danny DeVito is known to make an appearance on this podcast. Cody Spencer suggested one on Cup of Jones, and I loved it. Shout out to everyone who's ever given me an opening bit suggestion. But this, I just got too excited. It's called Who Gamed It? There's been a murder.
Okay.
A video game murder of a video game character. And usually this is something that happens all the time. This is very serious. There's no coming back from this. It is up to the Easy Allied detective agency to solve this murder. It's going to take a while. These things do.
Okay.
As someone who's just recently on jury duty, you know that just the investigation, that's just the beginning. It might take a while before we can finally find justice in this case. I forgot to bring this up beforehand. I can't show the image that we're about to present. Wink, wink, the image that I gave you, Isla. So you can't see that if you're listening or watching the podcast. It's gruesome. But I just want to show all of you for the sake of this game, okay? So I want you to look at this image, wink, wink, that Isla's about to show, wink, wink, and let me know who this is. Okay. Because we've had sketches. Look at that. I mean, so this is the body. This is the murder scene. It's gruesome. I told you. Don't even describe it because kids might be listening to this podcast. Okay. We got to figure out.
I'm not even sure how to describe.
We got to figure out at the detective agency who this is.
Black and white and red all over.
Ooh.
Some of our detectives have ideas of who this corpse could be.
Okay.
Does that look like Kratos? Ocarina Young Link? Lanky Kong? Tom Nook? Kirby? Professor Egad? Do you remember Professor Egad?
Mm-hmm.
Do we remember?
Yeah, it's from Luigi's Mansion.
That's what I figured. Yeah. The submitter mentioned that game specifically as if you wouldn't know. Agent 47? What a twist. Or Duke Nukem. I'll say them again. And again, just like I don't want you to pick someone who's just been murdered. Someone's been murdered, trying to figure out who it is. Who does that look like? Kratos? Ocarina Young Link? Lanky Kong? Tom Nook? Kirby? Professor Egad? Agent 47? Or Duke Nukem? Because we have to notify their next of kin, family, and everybody got to go through all of this stuff.
There's some orange. It could be Tom Nook, but
I'm thinking Lanky Kong.
Lanky Kong. Oh my goodness.
I mean, as much as I wish it was Lanky Kong,
I haven't heard from that guy for a while.
I thought it was Kirby. A lot of pink.
All of these people have been reported missing in the last 48 hours, so we're hoping all of them are okay.
It's a spree.
Yeah. Well, we're all over the place, though. We got to commit.
I mean, I guess it could be Lanky Kong.
I think
He's pretty ugly.
it looks more like Lanky Kong than, yeah.
I mean, like,
Goodness. We gotta let the whole Kong clan know.
oh, they don't
Or
care about
Clanky
Lanky
Kong.
Kong.
Oh no.
No. they
Okay,
don't care.
well, I mean that's evidence. I mean
Yeah,
now we're getting
they
into
don't care.
we'll get them all into the hotlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, figured out. My apologies to.
He was kicked out of the Kong
Lanky-
family.
Yeah. Shout out to JG for that suggestion, and shout out to Alexander Zarianoff, Rahul Masal, Sarah Knight, and Matt Galeza, who both gave us Tom Nook, Olden O'Connell, Brandon Ray, Sam Joven, and Mika O'Hare, respectively, for all of those other picks. So that was fun. And we'll get more intense and hopefully become a better segment sometime in the future.
So the
And
case will be
shout out
ongoing?
again to Cody Spence. I mean, we got to solve the murder of Lanky Kong.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Gotta get the DNA.
and thankfully it's not Kratos. He's got a lot of work to do.
He's been dead before.
He's been dead before.
yeah, like multiple times.
You can't keep a good god down.
This week on Nintendo news that Damiani managed to grab actually for his Nintendo podcast friend code, but this
Was
headline
that
I think
shade?
is
Were you throwing shade?
well because I always beat him to the headlines. I love it.
okay,
I always
okay.
get every now and then I'm so pumped to talk about something. He's like, please, we shoot in 2 days. Can we just please talk? I'm bringing in a guest to talk about this. Can we not do it on the podcast? I love talking about Mario Kart 9 on this podcast. I love Mario. I think one of the funnest things about the news this week, which you were on friend code, Blood, you were not, and I have not heard your opinion. I've heard many opinions about the Mario Kart franchise from Isla, but always fun to bring this up. Would you say most fun? Is that a grammar correction?
Yeah.
The funnest?
The most fun.
I was just kidding
Whatever.
around.
Wait, you corrected me on funnest?
Uh-huh.
That's not very fun. That's not the most fun
What
thing
a
you should do. Is,
drag.
I'm sorry.
yeah, making it all drag. Isla, hey.
That's what I'm here for.
Some of the headlines that I read about rumors that Mario Kart 9 is in development have to make me laugh because you see a headline. Did you know Mario Kart 9 is in development? Of course, Mario Kart 9 is in development. What does that even mean? When
Sure, yeah.
Mario Kart has started final, maybe box art design development? What? Where are we at with Mario Kart 9 right now, Daniel Bloodworth?
Yeah, it was from an analyst. They were basically just doing their own, they had a group of people, gamesindustry.biz had a group of people just, giving their thoughts on what to expect for 2022. And an analyst just kind of like matter-of-factly said, like, yeah, they're working on Mario Kart 9. It's in active development, and it's, it's got a new twist. And I'm like, well, that describes pretty much any Nintendo franchise.
Yeah, that's like every single game. New twist on this one.
As someone who does not put a lot of time to Smash Brothers, I was grinning ear to ear when they said everyone's here. Like when they talked about
Right.
Ultimate, I was like, wow, this is gonna be fun to see what they
Right.
add. It's gonna be fun to see how they design all that stuff. They're talking about like move sets, and I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about at all, but yay! Like this fan service is such fun, even if you're not a fan. Have we ever gotten a Mario Kart like that, or has everyone had quote a unique twist? There's always been something weird, right, that they didn't do again or
They
not as much.
usually try to do something different, it seems like, with like all their franchises.
I don't know. I think
Double Dash.
Double Dash was Double Dash, and then 8, I think, were the ones where you could really say there was like a twist. Like 7's big thing was just it was online.
That's a twist for Nintendo Blood.
yeah.
So, like, if I say that Final Fantasy 17 is in active development and is going to have a fire spell in it, can I get on GamesIndustry.biz's podcast? Like, can I?
You can.
Or if I do, if they invite me someday, is that the kind of material I should be bringing? Because I'm not wrong. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
just stuff to.
That's true.
I'm just reading
not
these
wrong.
headlines, and I'm like, is this news for this week, or is this something that a reminder of just the thing that we laugh about all the time?
I mean, I think that, yeah, I think to give them the benefit of the doubt, I think that they probably have spoken with somebody and do know, a little bit about what's going on over there, even if they don't have any of the details. I don't think they just pulled it out of thin air. I don't think there's guesstimating about it. But yeah, who's to say what the twist
is.
could be?
Yeah.
I think that, one of the things that we talked about on the Friend Code episode is just like the idea of them going a Smash Brothers direction with Mario Kart just makes so much sense.
I mean, they're already doing that with 8. They tested the waters with that. They did
a
Squid
little
Kids,
bit, yeah.
there's Link, and then there's the Villager.
Right.
Animal Crossing levels.
Well, I mean, we were gliding so much in
F-Zero.
8. Let's fly, baby. Give me Diddy Kong. Let's go. You know, give me
Yeah, I don't
jets.
know if they'll do like a plane.
I don't actually like.
I could see
plane
separate
mechanics,
tracks that is like
Not
water,
for the
hovercraft.
campaign, like a battle mode. You know, like something where it's
Oh.
like just like balloons is like you don't have balloons when
Yeah.
you're doing normal races. It's just for that one mode. So if they just had like a couple of tracks
could.
and you're all flying around bombing each other or something, or
I feel like the most obvious would be a campaign.
Right. Well,
Oh,
you mean
yeah.
like a Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah, style like Diddy Kong, something like that.
Yeah, we had talked about that as well. I think that could be a big thing, but I think with the strength that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has shown, you know, it's just like,
I mean,
how do you not get
defined,
other
I
people
would say.
in there? You know, it's like anybody that you want to have as a guest character, you can get because
Right.
it's like
I mean,
we're the best-selling racing
Yeah.
franchise there is. So
they could have Captain Falcon, Star
just-
Fox, anyone.
Well,
even
no,
other
I-
third parties.
that's what I mean. It's like
Crash.
just literally how Smash Brothers is, and just keep adding.
Yeah,
things.
I don't see why not. It's a good idea.
I want to see Snake in there.
It's
Yeah.
possible.
Everyone who's in Smash, just put him in cart.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't include all their IPs in there already. It just makes sense.
make it like Mario Kart and Friends kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
And I
Samus.
think the thing that's even more exciting to me than the characters is
The
just
tracks.
what they could do with tracks.
yeah.
Yeah.
How many crazy cool things
Yeah.
it could be.
Because like the F-Zero track's sweet.
Yeah, those are really nice. And then if you're talking about like Metal Gear, like if you're just like racing
Metal
between
Gear.
like Metal Gears battling it out or
Yeah.
something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do some crazy stuff.
The big twist for me is that Mario Kart 9 is a game that Nintendo's making because I don't know. Like on one hand, of course, it's going to be massive. On the other end, it's like, I think they could release a separate game that would have to be purchased for a separate $60 price tag and would be a separate game on your account. Just call it Mario Kart 8 Super Switch Edition and change nothing. And literally have Digital Foundry do a whole video where they're like, it is the same exact game, pixel for pixel. They just want 60 more of your dollars. It'd be the top selling Switch
They
game in
sort
2
of
months.
did that already.
But I mean, that's the thing is I'm like there's so many expectations and yet none at all. I think
Right.
like could Mario Kart 9 get a 5 out of 10 from every outlet and still become the #1 best-selling Switch game of all time?
Probably not the best selling, but it would probably still do fairly well. I mean,
yeah.
it would be really hard to screw up Mario Kart, I think.
Sounds like a
You
challenge.
know, like
Yeah.
you'd have to just
January 13th, 2022, Daniel Bloodworth.
because like what Double Dash was probably the most divisive.
Yeah.
You know, the GBA one wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like in hindsight, like once we had gotten past Double Dash and then we kind of went back to more normal ones, and it's like then everyone suddenly loved Double Dash.
Yeah.
So it's really funny. I think, but I do think one of the things, you know, because people are like, you know, well, do they even need another one, right? You know, why not just, you know, wait till the next system or whatever? But
Why
I
have a
think,
twist? Like why just make 8 again, dude? It's another thing. Like,
Right.
It worked so crazy well.
but it's like it's not even that like 8 worked well because of its twist or because of anything. It's just. It's just solid and it's easy for anybody to get into. It's easy to recommend. It's easy to play with other people.
Right.
It's,
Yeah.
You know,
It's beautiful.
Which
it is
which-
gorgeous. The music is great.
Yeah.
The online is surprisingly not bad.
Yeah. Surprisingly not bad.
But like we've been getting so many not so many, but like we have gotten a couple Mario sports games in the last 5 or 6 years. Damiani's pointed out are like very not feature rich, frustrates Huber.
Right.
I just look at the numbers and it's like, God, it'd be so tempting for me as Nintendo to release like kind of whatever Mario Kart 9. You know, just like it's not great, it's not terrible, but why break our backs over this thing that sold money to, you know, like amphibians were buying this game. You know, it's just like sprites from other dimensions are coming in with $60 into like, you know,
I think one
Best
of the
Buy,
reasons
picking up a copy just for,
sells
you
well
know.
though too, Jones, is because of the quality of it.
Yeah.
Like I could recommend Mario Kart 8 to anyone who's buying a Switch. But if it's not a great game, I'd be like,
Yeah.
Like I didn't recommend the Wii one to anybody.
Good point. It's that line is so tough for me to draw. Not only can Nintendo be a mysterious company,
Yes,
but that's
you
such a
can
mysterious
half-ass
success
it,
story.
but you might as well like put in some effort. And it
Yeah.
seems like they do. Like Mario Kart 8's great. So Don't screw it up.
It's just that there's a different where it's not a zeitgeist because a zeitgeist is like an explosion. It's just like a bit. You can see the arc. There was an explosion, and then there was another explosion.
I mean, Mario
like this
Kart's
is just
a constant. It's like a force of nature. It's just always going to come around and do well.
Yeah, you'd rather be a Mario Kart or a GTA 5 than a Valheim or PUBG or whatever. Like popular for a year
Fall
and then you
Guys.
disappear. Yeah.
Like really looking at 2022 as Fall Guys and being like, oh man, what can we, Fortnite just
they're still doing
hints at something and then just there's your Tuesday gone.
Think, though, the one of the things I was getting to is with Mario Kart 9, and this report and all this kind of thing, and like number one, it shouldn't surprise anybody because that game came out forever ago. But at the same time, because it continues to sell so well, it's not to me a matter of like when they put it out. It's just there's no reason to like hype that thing up early. If you start talking about Mario Kart 9 6 months before you're ready, you just killed 6 months of Mario Kart 8 sales or whatever.
Right.
So it's like you might as well
You announce
wait
a
until the
game,
game is done.
Right.
release
Here
it
is.
a couple months later. That's how you do it. Yeah.
Damn, you know what I want in this one? Skitching.
Right?
Skitching, dude.
Skitching?
You can
Sure.
play as another player and skitch on the back of cars.
You should play Double Dash. so.
Well, yeah.
That could be an interesting
Rollerblades. I just
item.
love skitching,
Yeah. Yeah, they could do
Grab
something
onto
crazy
somebody with like a little chain
Oh,
chomp
yeah,
or something.
They could do
yeah,
items
yeah.
swing ahead.
that are like associated with other Nintendo games, I guess, too.
Right.
Some item from like Zelda. Like they already got the boomerang that you could just easily dress that up as like a Zelda boomerang.
We talked about the Chocobo racing game a little bit too, and like the characters in that apparently like have unique moves.
Oh.
So like character specific moves could be an interesting.
That could be.
It's a
interesting.
hero racer.
I feel like they go for the amount of characters though is like their main thing. It seems like quantity, not designing specific moves for everyone. They kind of seem to do that with like their cars. Maybe more cars unique for each character or something.
Well, with the cars in 8, it's all the weird that's part swapping thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about like your visual of racing between like Metal Gears fighting each other and stuff. I'm thinking about the different power-ups that different characters would bring in. And then I was picturing Daisy just with a handgun, like leaning out the side of her cart, like shooting someone's tires
The
out.
rocket launcher.
Yeah,
dude.
just like brutal. Probably not that.
Probably
be.
not that.
What was that, like the really pissed off Luigi video?
Oh
from
yeah,
Mario Kart?
so
Yeah.
good.
Dave.
Like Jones.
It brings out the worst in him.
Imagine being a Belmont. Driving
Yes,
around and
yes.
throwing
Whipping
holy
people?
water
Yes.
on a Nintendo character and
Yes.
watching him scream in pain.
Yes. Yes. I got even better. You can save a little bit of money on this Mario Kart depending on how you want to play it, okay? $20 a month just to play Mario Kart 9. Plus, you get the latest DLC for Animal Crossing, but only trial period for 6 weeks. And then it starts the Animal Crossing subscription plan. It's a whole different tiered system.
Then the battle pass comes in.
Mario Kart 9 Battle Pass. Why is that not in our future?
It
Why
is.
It is.
It
Of
could
course.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Battle Royale, battle mode.
Because Mario Kart Tour is still doing pretty well.
Yeah.
They're still releasing stuff for that, so I'm curious if there's anything there that they want to bring over.
Dude, I
Hopefully
guarantee.
it's not too annoying, but yeah.
I guarantee if you have that expansion pass, it unlocks stuff for this, for sure.
Is this getting announced this year? Mario Kart 9.
This year.
I think it can happen. But like I said, there's no reason for them to rush.
Right. Yeah. I'm in total agreement.
They can put it out.
Even
when they're
Metroid
happy
Prime
with it.
4, any of these
Yeah.
things, I just think they're in such good shape.
But they've also had all the time that they need.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they need something though this year.
I'd love an interview though for them to talk about the vision and be like, "Oh yeah, this has been 6 different games, but not because it failed.
Right.
The exact opposite. You hear about like, oh, we got to go back to the drawing board. It's like, no, we were allowed to add another drawing board. Just keep going. It'd be really interesting to see, like what
What
it
if
ends up
that's the
being, but-
twist? Your cart leaves paint like in Splatoon, and you're literally drawing.
Or like
Yeah.
all their other games
Like
have bring mechanics
Trailblazers?
and stuff.
Trailblazer, yeah. Tron light
I'm
cycle.
just waiting for the Star Fox Grand Prix stuff to show up in this game. They're just put in Mario Kart and there it is.
Does any other console manufacturer or giant publisher in this business have a Mario Kart 9? Something that just you're just flying by and just open up the doors and then you just know like this thing when it hits is
Oh, I mean,
everyone's going to see this for miles. Like this is going to be a big deal.
Grand Theft Auto 6 would be
Sure.
humongous.
Good point. Good point.
Party. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but it's first party people. No one has anything like this.
Just meaning it's like take your time. Like you cannot cyberpunk this. You know, like this has got to. I don't know. It defies. Some days I think I'm okay at this job, and then I literally think about Mario Kart 9, and I don't know what any of it is about anymore. But that thing can still sell that much. It's been that long since the sequel. Out of control. Speaking of things that are still sticking around, regardless of maybe their quality or longevity, Platinum Games is a developer that I think when I first learned it was mostly through you and Damiani and was like, wow, they make some really cool stuff. And then now, however many years later, I know them for all sorts of reasons. Like their quality level for me and the franchise they get to work on is like just zigzags all over the place. Atsushi Inaba, who is now the president of Platinum Games, Kenichi Sato, has stepped down. I am curious what this says, if anything, about the company, and just kind of now that we're in a new year, and this is not a company that like, oh yeah, they, it's like Riot, like a whole stack of things that I know are happening. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the status of Platinum Games? Do you think this is kind of a career shift, or do you think this speaks to maybe some redirection happening?
Redirection. Platinum's such a weird studio because I feel like they're like one of the most inconsistent studios I can think about of like quality and not. So it's hard for me to say. Like I don't even know what games they're working on besides Bayonetta 3 at the moment.
Babylon's Fall, right?
Yeah. Right.
But they do stuff with
Square.
Square.
Probably working on a Nier Automata sequel as well.
Yeah, maybe.
I thought he said that they were done with that it was 2 and done or whatever.
That's
I don't believe your
storyline. I think, yeah.
I don't believe
who
Yoko
knows?
with anything he says.
True.
He could just drop some. Like,
There's also that.
I tricked you.
Drakengard, new Drakengard.
It's really hard to say, Jones, because like, if it'll make the company better, I don't know. Because it's like I think about Platinum Games, some incredible games, but also a lot of like not great games. Like I think about like Scalebound just not working out, and it's just like, damn, man. Hopefully they get even better because like Babylon's Fall, I've heard, is not good.
I mean, do you think this is because of that? That was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, I wonder if this is because the reception of Babylon was so
and
bad.
again, Bayonet's such a really long development.
Platinum,
because I'll give you an example. Like Ubisoft had one. Like Ubisoft would. I've been through so many ups and downs with the Assassin's Creed franchise. I've played Assassin's Creed games I thought were like okay, and then like a blog or email will come out from Ubisoft, and they're like, "This is the end of the like if we don't change things, Assassin's Creed could die today." It's like, whoa! Like this company's really paying attention to bad reviews or bad sales or even just like bad memes or jokes or like word of mouth. And so it's like I haven't seen anything shake Platinum Games. So when I see like a move like this internally, it's like, is this company bulletproof, or are they just gonna keep on keeping on? I don't know.
I don't think they're bulletproof at all, but if there's only so many cracks they could take maybe till they break. It's like, yeah, they're working with Square Enix a lot right now, but like what happens if Square Enix doesn't want to work with them anymore? It's like there goes a huge partner that you work with. It feels like Platinum Game takes a lot of work for paychecks based off their past works, a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing to me is that they'll take things that they just don't have a lot of budget.
They don't have a lot of time. They don't have a lot lot of budget.
And so it's like, yeah, we'll do that thing. We'll take your paycheck. Don't expect the world out of this, but and then they'll keep working on their own projects on this, and really put their full force and their effort into those. Yeah. And so I think like Bayonetta 3, like I don't have any reason to worry about Bayonetta 3 so far.
Their track record's good, but I think if Bayonetta 3 does not work out super well for some reason, then I would be very concerned about this company.
I would be crazy surprised if Bayonetta 3 isn't good. It's just a question of, like you were saying, small budgets. So it's like, are they doing enough in between these projects to make sure that Bayonetta 3 doesn't absolutely need to be a huge success, that they can still buoy themselves?
Does Nintendo help fund this one?
Yeah, Nintendo's, it's publishing.
Okay, so they got money there. A lot of money, probably.
Yeah, they have all the funding they need for that.
But someone to answer to.
Yes.
Right.
But it seems like they've been
a
long time to do this.
Little Easter eggs and tie-ins and stuff.
Yeah, they did. They got to do Star Fox Zero, which was I didn't
play their
Zelda
Turtles
costumes.
game, but I did play that Transformers game
Yeah.
at Comic-Con, I think, at like the Xbox booth or something. Like
Right.
played that demo over and over and over again. I'm like, this is pretty fun. And I'm like, maybe this will be really nice to see them get like a nice franchise win or something. And then just it went the way of how I think Babylon Falls is going to go, where it's like not a ton of success, not like, like get ready for the sequel for this game, but like also not something that makes you sad at the end of the year and not something you look back and are like mad about. Or you're like, oh, that game made me so mad. It's like, nah, just kind of bounced off of it because it was samey or smudgy
I
or
feel
just
like
wasn't my
Babylon's
jam.
Fall. Like number one, I feel like it's already sort of forgotten.
Yeah.
Like it's so strange because I don't even think there's any real expectations for that game.
Yeah. But they showed it. I liked that we saw gameplay first. It's not like
Yeah.
Starfield, where it's just like some of these games are just like concepts or like Metroid, looks like a logo.
Well, like,
It's nice to see
weren't
it.
they working on a... What was that? What's that gotcha game? I can't think of it right now. They were working on an RPG for it. Grand Blue. They were doing like
Oh.
a Grand Blue RPG. I don't think they're working on that anymore, are they?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Like, that's
I
alarming.
know they had the Soul
Well, it's-
Cresta thing,
it's-
which was really crazy,
yeah.
but that I think that might have already come out. I think that came out last month.
I think that's where my confusion is a little bit, is like seeing initiative in that company. Like, where are they going? It just seems kind of like the phone rings and they go, yes. Again,
Sure.
Grand Blue's like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Like the Turtle, who wouldn't want to make a Turtles game? But it's
Yeah.
just, it's interesting to see kind of the decisions they make and where they set their own expectations, because they
Grand
just
Blue
seem,
Fantasy Relink. They're
seem
no
tracking.
longer
Oh.
Yeah.
developing it.
That's interesting.
That was announced in 2019 that they weren't working on it.
Okay.
I was curious and I checked. Their average on Metacritic is 77 over 44 games.
Yeah.
Their best is 92, which is Bayonetta 2, and their
2.
worst was the PS4 version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan, which is a
Yeah.
44.
well, yeah.
So it's not like terrible. Like 77, what we've learned from Fantasy Critic is like that's like good. You can hope
Yeah.
you can have a solid team on average if you're 77.
It's one thing if like any of your weirdo school friends are talking about games. If you've been in the biz with these, with this crew, I don't know what I was about to call you, for a long time, and working at Game Trailers and Easy Allies. It's like when Ben Moore pulls me aside and I was like, wow, I read that Bayonetta 2 review. You like that game. I'm just about to go in the booth and I just want to stop and look into your eyes and get the vibe, because whoa, like you use some language here. Like this seems like a much better thing. He said, Brandon, it is the best action game I've ever played in my entire life. And I was like, okay. And so it's weird that I'm like, whoa, stack that up with all the, oh no, it's that. Like they have just so many other things within the company, and who knows what team is working specifically on what, or what staff comes and goes. Which is why, this potentially very amiable exchange of positions within the company could, not really signal anything and just be like a
Hopefully
rite of
it's for the
passage.
better. They've had a lot of problems in the past, so hopefully we'll see better days.
Ben did not have nice words to say about Babylon's Fall.
Yeah, he
on
told
his
me it was
podcast.
very bad.
1 out
Yeah.
of 10, I think he said, or something. The comments were like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Oh yeah.
I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. Completely in the other direction, but also having problems depending on who you ask and what types of problems you're talking about, is Final Fantasy XIV. Have you heard of this, Bloodworth? Have you heard of? Have you seen this? Have you ever played 14?
No, I haven't played it.
Dude, I've thought about Blood playing
Dude,
14.
are you the only one who hasn't played it then? Dawn, probably.
Dawn.
Oh yeah, I doubt Don's played it.
All right. I mean, we're chatting about Patreon goals. We're talking about maybe can we potentially do. I'm just saying, there's a direct correlation
there's
between
a Kefka
subscription
fight.
fees and blood playing. We just got to get the servers to work, and then we're good.
What if we just made a goal that
Yeah.
Blood plays 14?
Naoki Yoshida has a goal. Maybe you've heard of him. He is the head of this crazy game. And he, I feel bad. He wants the same thing that Mr. Rogers wanted. He just wants us all to get along, be friends,
yeah.
be neighbors. And I got to admit that if I was like at the bar with him and Jones, I had a hard day, I'd be like, you are barking up the wrong tree, especially if you are the biggest MMO right now. You're just going to get some people in your game that are not great.
Right.
He specifically said he would just love if people weren't as toxic in the game. That the direct quote, I believe, was players and developers and players, which is obviously both, be nice to everybody, but of course those are like two completely different initiatives. And I just like talking about Final Fantasy XIV on the podcast. I think it's come up in the last like 5 episodes. But you keep coming back, Brad. That's why. Either you and Damiani on. It's like, well, there's a headline. Has toxicity ever gotten in the way of your experience of 14 in any way?
The beginning in A Realm Reborn, I remember, was much more toxic. It's definitely mellowed out.
The sequel to the
years.
beginning.
Yeah, like when the game essentially was reborn. Yeah, like when it was good. Yes, it was more toxic back then, I would say. Like I remember running into some very nasty people, but nowadays it's like way.
Are you in
better.
the same server?
That
you were back
I
in
don't
the-
know, Jones. I'm not sure.
Huh.
Maybe
Wonder
not.
where are those toxic servers at? That's what he's got to do. Yoshi's got to start calling servers out. Players.
Yeah.
He's got to start getting gameplay and just
But,
making
like,
tweets.
Yeah, that was just like a much, MMOs, like, just what do you expect kind of thing. Like online games, I guess, kind of what you expect. But like 14 very much now is like, everyone chill out.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe 14 has for the past recent years, but used to be a little more rough.
Are you getting Ryan Johnson vibes for episode 9, where like or episode 8, where he's just coming out and saying, "Hey guys, hey Star Wars fans, let's all come on, let's just all like Star Wars together." And it's like, no, dude, you're sorry. that plane has left the airport.
I'll say he's not doing stuff that's dividing the fan base necessarily.
It's but I mean, with brands this big, circumstances this big, sales this big,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
no matter what.
I mean, I feel like this wasn't even really about 14. This is just kind of a general, can you guys calm down a little bit?
Well,
over here?
probably
Yeah.
because Final Fantasy 16, they didn't show anything, and they announced, it's going to be in spring.
Sure.
So people, lose their cool pretty easily. So I don't know.
Yeah, it just felt to me like more of just a general commentary on this, the industry overall.
Yeah.
Like people just coming in and just verbal abuse.
He's a
right and
very,
left
like-
on Twitter and everything.
I think that's why a lot of people like this guy is because he's super. He definitely expresses how he feels.
Oh, sure.
He does not feel like PR speak when this man talks. It feels like someone
Right.
actually a human talking to you, not a robot.
I don't like to call other names out that have absolutely nothing to do with this story, but if Randy Pitchford made a video and said, "Hey guys, hey guys, let's all be nice to each other, okay?"
okay,
I would
Randy.
be like, "Hey,
All right,
maybe
Randy."
that'll work out for Randy. I don't know. I don't play a
Yeah.
lot of those Borderlands games. Maybe the
doubt it.
Gearbox community will really resonate with that." This guy can laugh all the way to the bank. This guy doesn't have to do anything. This guy can take a 6-month vacation, and I'm sure the Final Fantasy 14 fans will be upset because no news will come out of any new updates or where it's going after this 3-episode arc or 3-expansion arc. But no, he's out here again, putting on his shoes and the sweater at his house. It's Mr. Rogers' neighborhood house, and he's like, "What can I do?" And the answer is probably nothing, right? Isla, nothing? What tone should he take with the community to get them to
14
behave,
guy?
gosh darn it?
Oh God. I mean, I just think that this is a great sentiment. But yeah, I mean, Randy Pitchford versus this guy is like, if a sad hobo clown asks you to be nice, or like a classy man in a tuxedo
Right,
asks you to be
exactly.
nice. It's like you're gonna react to that different ways.
I
Not
think your
saying
average
either one of
toxic
them is
gamer in the
either.
21st century is going to react exactly the
I
same
love
to
hobo
both.
clowns
Right. Hobo clowns are my favorite clowns.
for sure.
Jones will be thinking like this. It's like my dad telling me to be nice to someone.
Right.
Or like some random drunk guy on the street.
Yeah.
It's like, Dad, yes.
There are
random
some-
person I don't know hounding me.
There's so many lessons that I know deep in the bottom of my heart. If I time traveled back and grabbed myself forcibly and said, "Don't do this," I would do it
Sure.
anyway. Even if I came from the future,
Yeah.
it was like, I know this plan isn't going to work. I would be like, "That's because you didn't try what I'm going to think of tomorrow." Like,
I
it
would
would
say
be bad.
invest in Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's Jones is like, he's telling this stuff, and it's like, I want to do what he says because he's been really good to the player base.
Yeah.
For everything. It's like,
And I-
stuff with 16 is
Right.
looking really good, and he's super upfront about everything. It's like, yeah.
And it's working. I like their transparency. I like how they handled server outages.
Yep.
I liked how he addressed
Yep,
all
yep.
of the delays and everything before it even launched. Talking about spoilers and like all the celebration of Final Fantasy XIV's music and like streaming. There's so much positivity he brings to the community, and I think it pays off because he's
Jones-
got this huge game. And I don't think it's a fluke. I think it's because they have a good community.
It's because
Shout out to patreon.com/easyallies.
it
So I
feels
want him
like-
to be happy.
It feels like he's on the player side, so people will resonate more with that. Like my experience from World of Warcraft devs, it felt like the player base of the devs against each other.
Yeah.
And it does not feel like that with him. That's what's great about it.
Yeah.
Everyone do what he is doing. All you video game publishers, developers out there, be like him.
I think there's more. I think right now, there's all sorts of wedges, but like I can only imagine the executives, dealing with the development staff of World of Warcraft. That can't be fun.
No.
I almost get a sense Amazon is so scared of New World that they're just like, you do whatever you want. They're like kind of giving them a pass to figure out their systems and get everybody in line. Whereas like it feels much more like a grassroots campaign. That these are like, some of the RPG masters, and so it's like, it does not surprise me. Getting as far as I did in 11 and playing 14 twice. I just want him to be happy. I just want, when I read this, it sounded like he's like, I can't get a win,
Sure.
I almost would rather have people be nice to each other than all these sales. I would trade sales if it means I could get more nice people.
Yeah.
If only it worked that way.
Yeah, and with this, it seemed like Brad said, like this doesn't seem adversarial like you get from some people where it's like, can't we all get along? But it's like, well, you're being a jerk too. Like this guy's a truly nice dude. Yeah. And so it's just like, it reminds you of the humanity of developers because it's like they're just people. They're trying to do art and make you happy. Why are you so mean to them?
He's talking like a player.
Right.
And not a developer in that sense, which is good.
It is weird that it feels like, I guess fandoms just get so aggressive.
I mean, everything gets aggressive.
It's like you catch more flies with honey, gang. Like, try just being nice. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, he's not like being snarky about stuff like that.
Everything in the world gets aggressive except blood. You just never die. I've never seen it. If any gets aggressive around you and like take a picture, get some video or something, or like describe it later, let me know.
You try to cancel blood.
He gets cold, but he doesn't get aggressive.
Yeah, he gets disappointed, but he doesn't get angry.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Square Enix is doing great. I've said some nasty things about the Avengers video game. The Avengers themselves are doing a fantastic job, but which is hilarious because I put so many hours into that game. So I think Square, I'm excited about a lot of stuff that they're going to do this year. Especially that NFT talk. I'm really excited to see how that develops.
I was just thinking, you said they're doing well. I was like thinking about that in my mind.
I'm bummed that they're getting a bad rap because Square Enix, I think they're on the up and up, just in terms of my estimation. You know who's not, though? In 2022, that Blizzard. We'll see how they handle the next 11 months. But coming into January, they are still not everyone's favorite developer. And do you remember what interesting, Nintendo's coming out, Xbox, Sony, lots of different companies coming out saying, we do not condone what's going on there. Blizzard, we're very concerned. What is the latest
Lego
gaming juggernaut to draw the line? Blood, do you know what Lego did? Lego v. Blizzard.
No, I didn't hear about this.
Have you heard about the Overwatch Legos? Or Overwatch 2?
Overwatch 2 Legos.
Do you remember this video
made
game I'm
Legos?
speaking of? They were going to.
Yes.
Oh.
No, they made Lego sets for 1.
Oh, yes, right. But they were going to make Overwatch 2.
Yes.
But I don't know if you can officially make Lego sets for a video game that hasn't come out yet. They're delaying those indefinitely. They have a really great statement, but does that shock you? Do you think that's going to gain traction?
I got something to say about this, but say their statement first.
But I mean, they say they're delaying it because of the stuff going on?
We are currently reviewing our partnership with Activision Blizzard, giving concerns about the progress being made to address continuing allegations regarding workplace culture, especially the treatment of female colleagues, and creating a diverse and inclusive environment. While we complete the review, we will pause the release of a Lego Overwatch 2 product, which was due to go on sale February 1st, 2022. It is kind of nice to think of like some Blizzard lawyer getting out the red pen. Damn, I mean crossing it out.
I mean, there's no reason to release an Overwatch 2 anything in February 1st, 2022.
There's that. I like that they said progress. So they didn't say we're hearing things. They said we heard stuff. We're waiting to hear more. That's why we're pulling this. Is because
that's
not
what
enough
everyone's
is happening.
saying.
It is a little bit of a different language.
It doesn't mean anything right now. It's just talk is cheap right now.
Do you know how much those
it's
Lego
like all
things
those
cost?
People. It's all those people like saying we're modern Activision shit.
Right.
They're all still selling their games. They're not talking anymore about it.
That's true.
Well, that's a lot of those internal. They were internal memos, anyways.
Yeah,
I
know. But it's like
so.
It's like you're not doing anything about it.
I mean, this time they are though. They're holding a product back.
They weren't gonna. The game was not coming out, so they're not going to sell it anyways.
Right.
It's just a convenience right now. Exactly. Like they're not going to release this when the game's not even close to being out. We don't even know when Overwatch 2 is coming out.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Was this like just a correction from like a social media manager where like the boss like sent them a tweet that's like, hey, Overwatch 2 is going to come out this year, so we're going to pause this. And she like sent it back. Like,
Right.
what about
Sure.
this tweet? And he's like, ooh, I like that.
Yeah, sure.
That'll
If
have
anything,
more
it just-
dividends
It
than
just
the Lego
makes
company.
Lego look good.
It does.
So it's a win for them anyways.
I guess this Lego set is based on a scene from the game's announcement cinematic from BlizzCon in 2019.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how long ago
so
was
it's
that?
technically based on something that's out.
A cinematic, yeah, for a game that's not
So
out.
funny.
That would be interesting.
Marketing is weird.
Well,
Yeah.
I enjoy that you enjoyed Overwatch when you reviewed it and played it a little
I
bit.
did,
I got to be
yeah.
honest. After watching all the trailers and playing the game a little bit, I'll give a nod to the trailers. Some good trailers. Good
Yeah,
game.
they had good trailers.
Really good trailers, though.
Yeah, definitely.
And now, a word from our sponsors. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it is America's #1 meal kit. I got to shout out to HelloFresh because it's so nice being back from vacation over the break in December. You get back and we had people taking care of the house and they wash the towels, wash the sheets, and it's like, oh, nice to have that. And a couple meals because you don't want to go to the store. You don't want to just rush, oh no, we don't have milk. So nice to have a couple meals just ready to go. Don't even have to think about what to make. HelloFresh takes care of that too. The new year is a great time to focus on what's most important to you, whether it's saving money by ordering less takeout, learning to cook, or prioritizing your wellness. HelloFresh is here to help with endless options to make cooking at home simple and enjoyable. Endless options with food actually would bring me a lot of stress. I like that that they've really simplified. HelloFresh delivers pre-portioned ingredients to your door, including farm-fresh produce that arrives within a week, so you get convenience without skimping on quality. Skip the trip to the grocery store, saving you the wait and long holiday lines and ensuring you don't waste money on excess food. I don't think I have had a HelloFresh thing that I did not think was extremely tasty. So yeah, very fresh and very good. Go to HelloFresh.com/ally16 and use code ally16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/ally16. Use code allies16 for up to 16 free meals, which is how you remember that, and 3 free gifts. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like checking your bag at the airport without a lock. You think your stuff is kept private, but you never know who's going through your stuff. If they went through my stuff, there'd be a lot of toys, a lot of snacks, a lot of pre-cut apples, and a lot of small wooden cars. When you go online without a VPN, internet service providers can see every single website you visit. They can legally sell this information without your consent to ad companies and tech giants who then use this data against you. Why use ExpressVPN? Because you can browse more anonymously. When you use ExpressVPN, ISPs can't see your online activity. Your identity is anonymized by a secure VPN server. Your data is also encrypted for maximum protection. It's easy to use. You can fire it up with one fire up the app and click one button. It is very easy to check out their website. It's very easy to get this app and get all of this up and running. Works on all devices, phones, laptops, even routers, so everyone who shares your Wi-Fi can be protected. Secure your online activity by visiting expressvpn.com/allies today. That's expressvpn.com/allies. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/allies. A new sponsor. If saving more and spending less is one of your top goals for 2022, why are you still paying insane amounts of money every year for wireless? Switching to Mint Mobile is the easiest way to save this year. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you maximize your savings with plans starting at just $15 a month. Online only feels good. Whenever we put that stuff in any Easy Oz content, online only. Exclusive. For people looking for extra savings this year, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. By going online only and eliminating the traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes significant savings on to you. All plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on a nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. With Mint Mobile, choose the amount of monthly data that's right for you. Stop paying for data that you never use. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. I do not handle the finances in my household, so ads like this I would love. I could show up and say $15 a month and sound like I did some research. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/allies. That's mintmobile.com/allies. mintmobile.com/allies. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/allies. And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. is one of those that I apologize for as moderator, because it's a slow news week, but this is all, not a huge headline, but it's funny. And that is so important. That just especially we're getting near the end of the podcast, almost this week. Love and respect. We got a game to play. We got Aura Wars at the end of this, but we got to talk about Wordle. Do you know what Wordle is? Anybody on this podcast right now what Wordle is? Not only a yes,
I
yeah
do.
from the other room. Are you playing Wordle right now?
Yeah, not right now, but I did it like an hour ago. I started it like 4 or 5 days ago.
Wordle's great because I can pretend to be an old man. Wordle, what's this Wordle? Greg Miller's playing it. What is this? Cryptic tweets, bunch of blocks on top of each other. Learned today, or late last night, what Wordle is, how to play Wordle. Don't want to play Wordle after I learned that. Seems neat. It's just not, not a big word guy in terms of the mobile games I play. I like to watch Captain America beat up aliens.
Sure.
But Wordle's about, you put in this letter, oh no, it's a different letter, and you try to figure out the word of the day. And so it's a flex whenever you see people tweeting those. They're like, aha, look, only 3 lines.
Oh.
Bam, figured it out.
I have a good first word to use.
It is a massive hit. It's one of those things that I wonder, it's a zeitgeist, because mobile zeitgeists are hilarious. We had no idea.
Sure.
We had no idea when Pokemon Go launched, largest entity in the world. We were like, you think this will last? Like, you never know with mobile. But that's not the funny part of the story. The funny part of the story is that more than one company was just like, cool, we'll make a Wordle. Now we're going to make another game like it. We're going to make your game, and we're going to call it Wordle. And then we're just going to sell that.
Yeah.
So that's funny on its own. I love that. Reminds me of the old VHS Disney films. It was like Cinderella, and you're like, wait, what? What? Like,
yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, they would just say Cinderella because.
No, I know, but there was something
Straight up.
off. Yeah, it was Fringe. There were airships in Cinderella's castle. It just
Transmorphers.
Transmorphers.
That's a good one.
But, but stuff like that, it's, the name Cinderella, like Disney didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's public domain.
Yeah.
That's why Sharknado's great, because it's that version of the movie that never existed. There was never the movie Sharknado's making fun of. It is Sharknado. And so the reason I'm actually bringing it is that one of the guys who is making this, whose name is Zach Shacht. I'm
Zach
so
Shacht?
sorry if that's your name. If that's your last name or first, I'm only laughing because the guy's a super cocky entrepreneur in the gaming space. He flagrantly made one of these copycats, and his name is Zach Shacht. Shacht is Shakked. Zach Shacht. Tweeted at Shacht Zach, if you want to follow him. Hey, look at this. I made this. I'm paraphrasing this to death. I made this total copycat game, and it is killing it. I'm running away with the bank on this idea I stole. Come buy the game I stole, basically.
Okay.
And some analysts replied to him and was like, this is awful. And the internet's like, you know what? It is. And that game is no longer on the App Store.
Oh, nice.
He and several other of these copycats have publicly apologized.
Wow.
Yeah, I found an NBC article about him apologizing, saying he crossed a line.
And so not like I didn't know. Like, I knew.
Right, yeah.
I just needed you to tell me how bad this really was. Kind of like NFTs. But it's just so funny.
I think Unpacking had similar stuff as well, where like things were just either using their name or using something similar and just trying to.
Dude, my friend Asher,
piggyback,
who made Threes, and then a week later they made 2046 or whatever, that like ripoff.
And you have to go to conventions. Like, you have to go to PAX. You have to go to these places and show off games to so many people coming and going and just being like, I got to get this game out because somebody might have just seen it that has a dev team that can do what I'm going to spend the next 4 months doing in a week, and then they beat me.
Shout out to the guy, because I didn't know what Wordle was either. I just heard the name, and then I was like, okay. And so I thought it was an app, and so I searched in the Android App Store, the Google Play Store, and shout out to the review, the #1 review on the thing I found, where they were like, hey, yeah, this probably isn't the thing you're looking for. That's a website. This game is trash, and it's horrible, and like it's not even translated. Don't get this. And I was like, okay, great. And then I like just Googled it and found the real one. It's so funny.
And that confuses me because, it's like I'm reading user reviews, and they're like informing me about bad products and guiding me toward the thing that I actually want to purchase, where we all know that user reviews are used to bankrupt companies when they did something that you didn't like. Like, that's why Steam reviews are there, so you can go and review bomb something.
I don't think they bankrupt anybody, but
I wish they did now, but no, that would be awful.
You two did not like that joke.
It's just
Right.
Brad and Blood stone faced.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll take it. They're being honest. But like, whoa, niceness. You know what I mean? It's strange. This is what Yoshida wants. It's actually happening. You know, people are getting out. You know, there's no Schadenfreude. There's nobody that's like, ha, yes, pay for this app of the game I'm playing for free, idiot. Like, no, they're actually. Just go to the internet, prevent this, right this wrong.
I mean, when you come out like a cocky dickhead like that, people are like, we gotta knock you down a few pegs.
Like Bobby Kotick hasn't apologized, and this guy apologized. Like in the same week, all this happened since the last Easy Allies podcast. Like,
Bobby
granted,
Kotick
Wordle
can
has been
afford
big,
not to apologize.
Yeah, exactly.
but it just like that was so funny. I wonder if his mom got mad or something. It's like, why would you? It doesn't happen.
I would love it if that's why. Like his mom was like,
his mom
Zach
finds
shacked.
There's edits in the
in here
video
right
because
now.
she came in. Try it again. She's behind the camera. That was good. Take it one more time. Speaking of something that doesn't happen that often, finding an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5.
Right.
They told us months ago. I remember last summer they were talking about the next summer as like start your expectations there. Well, in the beginning of 2022, it was light week. Gosh darn it. Microsoft has discontinued all Xbox Ones. They're not making those anymore. Focusing on production of the Xbox Series X and S, which completely makes sense. They ran out of Xboxes at a Halo tournament recently. So does that startle shareholders? Does that move any needle in any direction, or is that just them due diligence?
I mean, in some ways it feels a little early for those just to be gone, but at the same time, you know, I think that was part of their strategy with the Series S. You know, it's like, we're going to give you a new machine that's cheaper, but has the architecture of this generation so that it's going to be easier for things to run well on it. So they don't want people continuing to buy these old boxes when they are keeping everything cross-compatible, you know, for as long as possible. So, and I think it's kind of par for the course for Xbox. They've been pretty quick to just cut off those old systems. You know, the original Xbox is one of the shortest lived, you know, fairly successful systems there is.
Right.
You know, it came out like last of that generation, and it was the first one to go. So when they introduced the 360, so yeah, I'm a little surprised that it's already done, but not shocked. Yeah.
Right. Like financially, it's the right move not to do it.
I think so. I think, again, like Microsoft is not the team that I know of right now. It's certainly making big purchases, but not having like huge, big, crazy sales or like just running away with awards right and left. But they do seem to be making smart business decisions, stuff that like if we hold out, this will make sense in the long run. Sony's doing the opposite. Sony is saying, bring on those PlayStation 4s. Let's make a lot of those because people can't buy the PlayStation 5s. Is this an opposite tactic? Or is it just a different?
I mean, I think
is one smarter than the other? Or is it different
still
teams?
making PS4s for a lot of people. A lot of places out there still buying those.
Yeah. I think that's sort of the thing is the PS4 is still in that price range. Whereas I think again, going back to the Series S, like the Series S is sort of in that like more, you know, acquirable price range. And the PS4 as well is like, well, people want to buy just the video game system, but they don't want to, you know, spend $500, or they don't want to spend $400, or they don't want to like try to track down a PlayStation 5. You know, let's keep putting out a few. And I don't think it's a huge number. I think I saw somebody say like they're making like another million or something.
It was basically it was things they were going to shut down to swap it over with PS5s, and they were like, I don't know if that's going to move the needle. If we're ready to go on all these things, let's just keep making these. Am I going to see a PS4 commercial on TV sometime this year?
PS4 commercial?
Yeah,
No.
they're like, hey, you still got those discs?
No.
You know, like, have you considered giving Sony money
There's
today?
no way.
But yeah, and so are these opposites, these two company strategies, or is this just where these two companies are at this gen?
Where they're at right now, yeah.
Because Spencer sometimes reminds me with his strategies of like that like heist movie where like it was the one thing you didn't see them do in the heist setup, and then when they pull it off, the world. Oh, I didn't see them place those explosives. And I think he was just waiting, as was reported by at least one outlet out through Black Friday and all of the holiday sales. Like the Xbox Series S did pretty good because he had a lot of people coming in who were just like, I need to say the words next gen on Christmas morning, and it looks like the Series S is my option. Can't even get a Switch in this Toys R Us, or I can't even go to a Toys R Us now. Is this response to that? Sony being like, whoa, maybe that made that easier. That like that whole, I think the demand for a Series S is more demand than for any PlayStation 4 right now. Right now, is that off?
I don't know about that.
Does that all just come down to people who find it?
The PS4 was much more successful than Xbox One, so I could still see a ton of people who want PS4s.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it. Is that they're still seeing sales potential there, and they don't have any ability to make more PS5s. So might as well make more PS4s because they can sell them.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to is they can make them, they can sell them, and again, it's kind of similar like I think with the Series S, like they can make more of those.
Yeah, so they might as well just make those.
So I think that with there wasn't really that kind of an advantage with the Xbox One, because the Xbox One S, I think, is basically the only thing they had left anyways. The Xbox One X is long gone. The original Xbox
Series
One
X
is long gone.
Yeah.
The Xbox One SAD is long gone. So I think it's just one of those things where it's just the things that they were already making were pretty in different situations, and they're just dealing with that supply chain.
Neither company is selling the amount of consoles that they want to sell. Say the Blue Fairy comes down and gives Microsoft quadruple inventory. Just all of a sudden they just Christmas morning they go up and like, what? For Valentine's Day. And now they're like, well, there's no way we're going to sell as many as the PlayStation 5. And now out of nowhere we have all of these Xboxes. Could you launch a campaign that's like, now for sale? Or like, now you can get them. Like what's the messaging as the availability comes back? Do you just count that, if it's there, it'll sell, or do you need to change your verbiage or?
I don't even think Xbox has to, or either one of them have to say anything. They just leave that to retail partners.
Yep. Yeah, right now people just want a new machine. That's about it, and they'll take whatever they can get.
Good luck, everybody, finding one of those in 2022 if you have not yet. Also this week, Summer Game Fest officially returns in summer 2022. It's going to be in summer. Curveball. The Game Developer Conference Awards announced their nominees.
Yeah, DICE did too.
Dying Light is 500 hours long. No.
Not quite.
If you want to do all the things, they kind of just say, it's actually not that impressive when they say it's like, oh, I guess that's how long all of the campaign is if I do all the things. I thought it might be a little longer than that, because who would ever do that? Like, I'm going to play Fable 3 6 times. To make sure I do all the stuff.
You're talking about all the little side quests and dialogue choices and collectibles.
Seeing everything, hearing everything. Yeah.
Yikes.
Every
everything's fun
conversation. Yeah.
Listening to every tape. Yeah.
That's almost as long as it would take to walk from Warsaw to Madrid! !
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how that basically put people into a panic, and they had to walk it back. It's like, no, actually, main quest, you can get through 20 hours.
Yeah.
And then I think 80 hours was what they sounded like was the typical person's playthrough.
That's
still
a
crazy.
really good amount of time.
Yeah.
It seems weird because I've heard so many people be like, Assassin's Creed is way too long, like games are way too long, and then to like brag that it's 500 hours long. It's like,
they want that Assassin's Creed
want.
money.
Yeah. I'll say about Assassin's Creed is because it felt really long.
Sure.
That's what made it bad.
But it also is really long.
It is really long, but it felt really long. Like Breath of the Wild
same thing with
can
movies,
be really
too.
long, but to me it didn't feel really long when I was playing it.
You can watch a quick 2-hour movie and a long 2-hour movie back to back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, and the hard thing is, until you get your hands on it, because you talk about a Breath of the Wild or Skyrim or something, like the reason that the hour count or whatever, could maybe matter is, there are games that just feel like you could just keep playing them.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. if there's a reason to keep playing it, you'll keep playing it. You won't get bored of it. You know, I've actually kind of run into that with Forza Horizon 5. It's like I just kept finding things that I could check off of that list, and it was still fun to do. It was still fun to jump into another race.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weekly things, you know, like finally, like after this, like after the holiday season, like, okay, I did all the holiday stuff. I'm going to let that rest for a minute.
This is funny. I just checked how long to beat for Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, yeah.
59 main story, 92 main and extras. And it has a Dying Light 2 banner ad, just coincidentally.
Yep. Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem was announced and comes up very quickly, January 25th.
Nice.
Expandalone.
Where's Talos Principle 2?
There, yeah, that'll be
Says
next.
me and 4 other people.
Fortnite is apparently working with Paramount, is the rumor, which everyone is saying means turtles, but of course would mean other things, but everyone's excited about that.
Yep.
Call of Duty is having a multi-game crossover with Attack on Titan?
This looks weird. I saw
Of
this,
course it
like, the
would.
video.
How
It's
would it
just
not
so
look weird?
It doesn't look appealing to me at all.
This
It's
is
like,
strange,
okay,
yeah.
there's that.
But like when I think about like Fortnite, Jones, just because of the visual style, like things can blend in better and seem more appropriate, I guess.
Yeah.
Or not as like weird on the eyes.
Just
This
imagine-
just looked like really. I was like, whoa, when I saw this.
Imagine like a crossover meeting, and they're just like, we want our thing to look really garish. How do we approach that? Where do we start?
But like
Ugly? Like
an insane like
Jump
anime
out?
in Call of Duty is funny. I know there's like insane stuff in that game already, like Krampus and stuff, but just seeing like that Levi
Yep.
in Call of Duty was just really jarring.
Kirby's latest comes out in March. Kirby's also has a 30th anniversary wallpaper. If you want to go pick
Wow.
that up. Yeah. Wouldn't know about that if it wasn't for Blood. Thank you. Nintendo Switch Online is offering a free trial of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Did you ever find out if they had done that before? Or that just seemed odd.
I don't know if they've done that before. It's the first time it's like come to my attention.
What a weird pick.
But you've got like a week to play that game.
How long can you play it? Or is it just you
you've
can
got
beat
that,
the game?
that week? Yeah, free
So
trial for a
weird.
week.
Stalker 2 has been delayed to December 8th, which is not as a ways away. Take-Two bought mobile giant Zynga for $12.7 billion. Still not as funny as Wordle copycats. Hitman 3's Year 2 begins on January 20th.
Nice.
Yeah, they got a
We'll
lot
see what
going
that ends
on.
up being. A lot of info on that one.
Yeah.
And Action Arcade Wrestling is coming to Switch in February, which is very pertinent to our interests
That sounds
here
cool.
at Easy Allies. Let's play a game!
Oh, that's why.
This when I'm over there dancing from Aster. It's called Cool Subtitles. If there's anything a video game marketing team loves more than a clumsy ad read from an internet celebrity, it's a really cool subtitle. Heck, I love them too. That's why I've compiled a list of cool subtitles in various games that feature them. Can the allies remember them all? Note that the given word might be part of a subtitle containing a larger phrase. The list also isn't 100% comprehensive, so if you can think of even more games with these cool subtitles, that's cool. Because it's not crazy,
Do we
you know,
mean subtitle? Does it mean like
I will
after
explain.
the colon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a word, and then you give me all of the blah, blah, that word that
okay.
used it as a subtitle. I'm going to try this out. I'm going to give the point to the person who says the last game. So everyone's going to start rattling stuff off, and there's 4 options for the first word and 3 for the rest of them. So again, it's not comprehensive. It's not everyone. But this is kind of like Family Feud. Like I'm going to see if you can guess maybe not the most popular options, but the Aster options. Origins is the first word.
Assassin's Creed.
Correct.
Batman.
Correct.
Wait.
2
Batman
more.
Arkham Origins. But
Yeah.
Silent Hill.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
1 more. First game.
Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I was gonna say first game in the franchise. Sounds like a sequel, but that was the first one. Bloodlines.
Vampire the Masquerade.
Vampire the Masquerade.
Correct.
Yeah.
Castlevania.
That's correct.
Bloodlines.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Returns. Returns.
Batman?
Well, I think more video game stuff. Yeah, it's all just video game.
Right.
There's a Batman Returns video game.
There is. Super Nintendo, excellent soundtrack.
Like.
Whoa.
It's hilarious how this is like it's like right there. Like I know
Yeah.
that they're there.
Right.
Wasn't there like a long Leisure Suit Larry or Conquer's Verde or
Is
something.
there
that
a
had
Joker
return?
one? Batman like Joker game?
Get out of the
Return
Batman,
of the
dude.
Joker on the NES, but
So, it's subtitle.
Oh,
Returns.
that's what it is. Return.
Something returns. Two major Nintendo characters both had games called
Samus
Something Returns.
Returns.
There we go. There's one of them.
Oh, right. Yeah, Metroid.
Another very big Nintendo character, Brad.
Huh?
Very big. Physically big.
Donkey Kong
Nintendo-
Returns? Oh,
Donkey
Donkey Kong Country.
There we
Yes,
go.
That's right.
And there's one
I
other
forgot about that
very
game.
popular
'Cause
character
Nintendo did.
who might be hanging out in our stream room.
Lightning?
Right there we
Lightning
go.
Returns.
Final
Oh,
Fantasy 13
God.
Lightning Returns.
Oh, God.
Awakening.
Awakening.
well,
Oh,
there's
God.
Zelda Link's Awakening.
Yep.
Yes. I
That's
just
one of
thought
them.
something.
There's three. That's
Shoot,
one.
Where'd it go?
Alan Wake 3 Awakening.
Alan Awakening.
Alan Awakening.
That's funny.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Every time you say them,
I
I'm
know
like,
there's
oh,
one
of
that's
course.
just Awakening.
The last one, I don't know if I would
Kingdoms
not
of
have been able to yet.
Amalur. No,
That's Reckoning.
Reckoning.
RPGs, though, is a good place to be. An RPG franchise that you just got into, Isla, that you had not played before. Not that one, the one before
Shin Megami?
that. The one before that. I knew that's what you were going to say.
Fire Emblem
Correct.
Awakening?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
And Dante's Awakening was the subtitle for Devil May Cry 3.
That's
Technically,
right.
Oh.
I forgot
What?
about
I
that.
guess.
Yeah.
2005, Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening.
Yeah. Then Special Edition.
Yeah, it might have been a different edition or something. Who knows?
Forgot about that. Yep.
And finally, there are 4 of these. X.
Just the letter X?
X.
Blah, blah,
Mega
blah.
Man X.
There we go. There's
1,
one.
2, 3, 4.
Resident
There's
Evil.
one franchise.
Resident Evil Code Veronica X?
Yeah.
X.
Oh, fun. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not one of the options, but good pick. Good
Yeah.
pick.
Because that was
there's F-Zero X, of course.
F-Zero X,
Okay.
yeah.
Still got one of the 4.
Castlevania
Dracula
X.
X? Yeah.
Oh, Dracula X. Very good.
Yeah. X.
But does it need to have a colon?
It's just got to be one of these 4.
Mortal Kombat.
Again, it's like
Oh,
Family
Mortal
Feud.
Kombat?
There we
Yeah.
go. We got 2. 2 more games that
X versus
Alter?
Sever.
Aster, sorry. Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Didn't play it.
Oh, yep.
And Pokemon X, because it also had the Y there with the Pokemon.
Oh,
X
right.
and Y, yeah.
Right.
No one cares about Pokemon. It's
From
fun.
yeah.
Cool game.
Talk about franchise in
Yeah, that
trouble.
was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I don't think it is. Not at all.
Not in trouble.
It is time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
From Andreas Kleinthus, I wanted to ask, what is the realistic reason, and we get this question a lot, but I love asking it, why the PlayStation 4 or 5 can't have PS2 backwards compatibility? Is it after all a DVD player and an emulator? Is there more to it than that? Am I being ignorant? I ask because I still own over 70 PS2 games just sitting on a shelf. And I know we've talked about the PS2 being inside the PS3, and then they just threw it all out the window and made the PS4.
The emotion chip.
But maybe think about this framing of the question. I am Sony man. I'm coming into your office. I'm telling both of you, we made a mistake. PS2 backwards compatibility. Make it happen. How do you make it happen cheaply? Do you make a whole new thing that does PS2 compatibility? Do you make the PC
I mean, you just
do it?
said the magic word.
do you put all those games on
cheaply
Steam?
is not an option.
Cheapest.
Yeah.
Because
You pay some person who already hacked an emulator like $2,000 and say I won't sue you, and then you just take it. I don't know.
But somebody's gonna buy that thing
But-
that we've
but if they're
officially
talking
released
about
and
putting
open it
the
up and see what we
disc
did.
Yeah, the
into
disc
a
itself.
machine,
I don't know. That's a
yeah.
good question. I don't know the technical reason why.
I mean, the technical reason is vastly different architecture. I mean, even Xbox, which has stayed on pretty similar architecture, had to have this massive team to enable backwards compatibility for the original Xbox and everything. And
And even they stopped
just don't
after
see
a
the
while.
value.
even
in it, I
they
guess.
had games that some for legal reasons, but some for technical reasons that can't do that. Just
Yeah, I
We're-
guess they just don't
we're done.
see the reason to do it financially, or even try to.
yeah,
Reason
well,
to do it.
that's-
He's got 70 PS2
I mean,
games.
they don't care. They already got you to buy it. Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the technical possibility, but then the question is, well, how do they recoup those costs?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now that they're gonna do the subscription thing, like they'll just put them in there and you pay for
Yeah,
them monthly
yeah.
over and over.
From Nirav, I have decided that 2022 is going to be the year of Jolly Co-op. Unfortunately, all my close friends live in other parts of the country. I've been looking around and compiling a list of the best online co-op games without PvP stuff. So do you have any recommendations, or even games that are single-player but are more fun when playing with others even through a Discord stream, such as House of Ashes or Little Nightmares 2? So far I've set up Resident Evil 5, Monster Hunter Rise, Overcooked 2, and a few others. I would love to hear any recommendations. Love and respect, Nirav.
It Takes Two has online, right?
How is that not on this list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a little, like, perturbed. It's like, oh no, what did they do wrong that didn't make this? That would be the most obvious pick for that list. I'm just like,
I liked
oh no,
that Sackboy game.
marketing fail.
What was it called again? That game was fun. Sackboy, Big
Sackboy,
Adventure.
yeah.
Adventures or whatever?
That game was fun.
Very fun
Those
co-op, yeah.
games that
Three
you and
Worlds
Huber played
tolerable.
one or two of the We Were Here or whatever.
Oh, those are great.
There's like
yeah.
4 of them.
Yeah, 3 or 4. We Were Here Together, I think, is the one that Huber and I played.
Yes, that's
really
right.
good.
Those are fun. There you go. Eric Bruns. Hi, allies. I don't understand the talk about 30 FPS versus 60 FPS. I just can't see it. Maybe I can and I don't know it, but it seems like so many people can look at video footage of a game and instantly explode with joy or disgust at the frame rate. I've messed around with performance mode versus quality mode in numerous games. I have a really hard time figuring out which one is quote-unquote better. Should I just stop caring and continue to live my video games are fun, neat, and look cool Wonderland? For some perverse reason, I feel like I'm missing out on the gripe fest over 30 FPS. Love and respect, amigos, Eric.
I mean, if you can't tell, then yeah, it doesn't matter.
You can't tell.
To me, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
The difference.
Yeah, I'm funny case because it's not night and day for me, but I so easily don't realize, like, if like, whoops, it's down to 720p because we're streaming and I didn't bump it back up to 4K, or like, oh, oops, you saw me playing Forza for 2 seconds at quality mode. And I did that for all the GTA games. When I swapped that over in San Andreas, was like, oh,
Yeah.
clearly that looks better. But I don't discern that at the time.
And I think it depends on the game too, the type of game.
It depends on the game. It
Like a
depends
racing
on
game, a fighting
whether
game,
they're actually hitting
action
that target
game.
frame
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
we
stable.
were talking about that, I think, in Ben's stream the other day, where it's just because somebody had asked a similar question. And it's like, if your pacing is off and you're dipping down, you know, you're picked 60, but you're dipping down to like 40s and stuff. It's like, you know, it's 40 still, you know, technically better than 30, but because you're wobbling all over the place,
It's
you're
really jarring.
seeing it jump,
Yeah.
you're seeing it
Yeah.
skip, and so it's better, you know, to go to 30. When I think it was Forza Horizon 3 was the first one they put on PC, and I was having that kind of issue where it's like, it was better for me to keep it on 30 than
Right.
to try to put it at 60
Oh.
because
It's like,
it wasn't consistent at 60, and it kept throwing me off.
Infamous Second Son had like uncapped frame rate, and it'd be
Right.
around. It would just go all over the place,
Wow.
and it was weird.
My friend told me that the Dark Souls remaster screwed up because it runs too well, and so it screwed up the timing for Capra Demon.
Right.
So like if you can get killed like immediately, whereas in the original release, it's supposed like it took a little while to load, so you had like a second
Right.
to get up the stairs
so
before
funny.
the dogs and Capra Demon came in. But now they can like kill you in the fog sometimes, which is really funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the programming that could be frame rate dependent.
If the
and
game
Dark
wasn't
Souls
designed
is
for it.
one of those.
Bloodborne too, like
Yeah.
it's like all based on like all the math in the entire game is based on the frame rate or whatever, something like that. To me, it's like having worked with video for a billion years,
Yeah.
I notice it, but it doesn't bother me. My brain just adjusts right away.
Sure.
Where I notice it is when it's inconsistent or dips below like 24. Then I'm like, oh my god, slideshow, you know?
Yeah, I think the basic way I could say is it just, you know, it feels like it's clearer. Like even if
yeah.
the resolution is higher, it's still the frame rate can make it feel cleaner and clearer.
Yeah.
I don't like it for 4 seconds. when on every GTA game, when I realized that, I went into every save file on my PlayStation 5 and was like, all right, okay, let's go to performance mode. It was like kind of jarring just for a second, and then this is clearly better.
Yeah.
Well, and the human
glossy.
eye sees, I mean, obviously not really, but like effectively at 60 frames per second.
Sure.
So it can definitely have like an impact on your perception of.
Did The Hobbit do 120?
48.
It was like
48
48
frames.
or
Yeah, that
something
looked
like that.
so stupid.
Yeah, it was
like,
very weird.
but it's that would work for different genre. Just again, like different games, like you're saying, racing, fighting, you know, stuff that like Twitch-based stuff.
Well, I would argue about games. I think every game looks better in 60 FPS. every
Sure.
game. But
I
a movie
yeah.
is different.
Well, I think something like Inscription, where like, it's fluidness is going to make that whole game sing, but at the same time, like there's kind of a PS1 roughness to the whole
Sure, yeah.
experience.
Right.
That it's like people are still making games that like
It's an artistic choice in a
or
lot
yeah,
of that
or
sense.
something like Dusk, like the stuff that
Yeah.
New Blood's pumping out, like as a kind of a celebration
Sable
of jank.
has like a very interesting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the animation in that.
So
is
it's
wild.
it's this reminds me of like a Huber IMAX argument. You see that in IMAX, Jones? I'm like, the answer is always no, dude. I'm not gonna like break my back to like go. I know it's better. I know, but not every time. You don't have to have a 5-star meal every single meal. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, like it's not a problem for most games if it's running at 30. Like I think 30 is entirely acceptable
Tolerable.
standard. It's fine. But as more games, starting with this generation, have had those
Oh my god, I'm so happy that
Toggles
these games
on-
now have that. Yeah.
on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. It's just like I hit it and go back and forth, and it's like, I'm gonna keep this on 60.
Yeah, like Demon Souls do. When I played it in 30, I was like, ugh.
Yeah,
I gotta go back.
like there was something off with that. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't understand why it looked that bad.
I remember when I was
quality
playing
mode.
that, and then I was playing it here, and you guys saw me or something, and you were like, "You're playing this in quality mode?"
You were
And I
playing
was like,
Forza.
Oh,
and me and
oh yeah,
Blood were like,
Forza.
What's happening?
And then you guys noticed it immediately, and I was
We
like,
like
"What?"
PC gamered you.
Yeah,
We were like,
and
why
so
are
I
you playing
switched
this
it,
frame rate?
And I was like, "Okay, this is better. This is better, sure."
We got to wrap up this podcast. We're gonna do Or Wars because we're not gonna do bets. You ready for Or Wars?
Yeah.
Are you ready for Isla? Or Wars? Ready?
Yeah.
Excellent. Somebody need me too much.
Ooh, good call.
Somebody know me too well. Somebody pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for
Or Wars.
Who's going first?
I was gonna say I love that
I
fucking
went
song,
first last
dude.
time I was on
It's a good
this.
song.
I
Sure,
love
I'll
being
go.
alive.
Huber loves to throw people under the Or Wars bus. Bloodworth, Leonardo or Raphael?
Oh, Leonardo, because Leonardo's got the reach. Especially that first Turtles game when you're like
Combat
having to
focused,
hit stuff through platforms and everything's
yeah.
all awkward. And you're like, you get that katana up there. You get those mousers. Yeah, that you definitely want. You want that extra reach. The more reach you can get in those Turtles games, the better.
Reach. Who's next?
I'll go.
Disneyland or Disney World?
Oh, well, Disneyland's got accessibility from where I'm coming from, but I grew up going to Disney World, and Disney World has more lands. But Disneyland is in California,
Yeah.
and World is in Florida.
It's
So
close.
COVID-wise, I don't know. But, I mean, I got to say World just because Epcot and Hollywood, nay MGM Studios, now Hollywood Studios. Oh, man, I just love them. And Animal Kingdom, the way they hid all the cages and stuff, it's witch magic. It's science. It's beautiful.
The cages they keep the
What
naughty
is
children in.
hilarious?
Yeah.
My mom is convinced that I've gone to Animal Kingdom with them, and I have not. And she thinks I just forgot about it. I'm like,
She's gaslighting.
how would I
Photoshopped you
forget?
into the pictures and
How
stuff.
would I forget?
Brad Ellis, a gifted subscription to Stadia Ultimate or Nintendo Switch Online?
A Nintendo Switch Online, despite some of the quality, then there's some of the best games of all time on there,
true.
like
That's
Ocarina of Time and Mario 64,
That's why they got you.
Sin and Punishment, Star Fox,
Right.
and I don't even know what the hell's on Stadia, so skip.
All right. I've heard what I need to hear. I love that I was totally going for that they're rivals on the team, Leonardo and Raphael. You went straight to combat, and I respect
Yeah.
it. Brought it right back to gaming, right out of its comic roots. I will give you that win, Bloodworth, also because I missed you a lot. But hold on, not yet. Somebody need me too much. Somebody know me too well. Somebody pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for Wars.
Or Wars.
Nice.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is there singing for this segment? I'm not
Because
saying
there is.
I'm just curious how this came about. I know Kyle did it before, but how did this start? Is there any reason why, or is it just because Singing's fun. Jones, you can keep singing.
No,
I
it's
won't
cool.
stop you.
No, I mean, yeah, it's. I can sense the turmoil. I mean, it's over. We're gonna do best
Like,
next week.
I don't
so you
know.
don't have to worry about it, Brad.
I just don't understand
I don't think you'll be on
things.
next week. And by the time you're back on, it's bad.
I
So you don't
mean,
have
I
to
think
deal
that's
with
the whole point. is
Okay.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
So that's the
weird
I mean, there's one difference that I've
Joker
noticed
mentality,
between Kyle's
chaos.
Right.
and Brandon's.
Right.
Brandon's like, I'm going to warn you about this. This is
Right.
coming. Get ready for it.
Yeah.
No, Kyle would just like
Right.
no transition. No,
Yeah.
He would just start singing out of nowhere.
But you have a nice voice, Brandon.
Thank you.
So it's not
Yeah.
like
Right.
weird to hear you sing.
Right. I want it to be though. I want people to be a little uncomfortable though. You know, because when somebody sings, it's just uncomfortable. You just there's
I'm
like,
uncomfortable because now I need I've been finishing the song "Being Alive" in here,
Right.
Because you cut it off. I'm just like being alive. Yeah, it's so
It's a good
good.
Is
show.
it just because you're all theater people? Is
Shout
that like
out to
why
Sondheim.
all you sing? I don't know.
sure. Yeah, that was what I mean. Any opportunity to get some more Sondheim into people's lives, I'll take it.
Jones, I won't stop you from doing what you like.
I will stop people who want to go buy something of Stephen Sondheim's right now, and I will redirect them to patreon.com/easyallies. Or, as I liked to call it earlier today, when Milo was listening to a podcast of a British gal who was reading stories to kids and also had a Patreon. So I will invite you today to go to patreon.com/easyallies. I was like doing dishes. Patreon? And Bandit came in the kitchen. Patreon? Patreon. Normally I wouldn't just start doing voices and doing accents, stuff like that. They also have a Patreon. We have a Patreon. Makes me feel good. They're reading for kids. We might be reading for kids. We might be reading for full-grown adults that like games a lot. We do tons of game coverage, whether it is live or whether it's recorded. Twitch, YouTube, 2 different channels. All of that is primarily funded through Patreon. So thank you to all of our patrons, and a shout out to our biggest patrons. We are now in the month of January, and they are just kicking ass month after month. Shout out to Caleb Togi Crawford, El Thanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, and Nick. Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Daniel Bloodworth, you won. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign-off. Funnel this energy into more wins through the year. Just mentally think of where you're at right now. Take it away.
For video, I'm going to go with Friend Code that I shot with Damiani and Jake James Lugo. We went for almost 2.5 hours.
Nice.
Talking about Nintendo's 2022. And of course, just hours before the episode goes up publicly, Nintendo announced the actual date for Kirby.
Yeah.
Which is looking pretty good. Very, very curious about that game. And then, but yeah, it was a fun time. Like every dimension you could think of it. Switch Pro, Switch Next, Mario Kart 9, all the different games coming out. And then, yeah, for final word, yeah, just sending love to the mics. Huber and Damiani both,
Right.
Out for various reasons that they definitely need some show of support. And then we'll see you before the next Blood Moon Rises. Yo, can you guys calm down a little bit over here? Yeah.
Driving around and throwing holy water on a Nintendo character and watching him scream in pain. Yes.
Zach Shacked, get in here right now.
Making it all drag. Oh, hey.